I also try not to get too heavy on the EA hate train because
you don't think I should duct tape Hank to the walls. Well, now you can leave. You can't leave. No more free water. No more vacation days. You guys, it's been so long. I'm not used to podcasting anymore. Yeah, hey, we don't have Jackson here, so we don't have a cold open, do we? It's weird, isn't it?
About to talk, freaking heck, dude.
No, now we started. Welcome back to Off the Air. I'm back, bitches.
Why would? Yeah. What a strong intro from you, just coming right out there.
Coming right out. Listen, man.
Literally, I was just like collecting myself. I was about to say something and be like, "Hey guys, welcome back to Off the Air."
Nah, I'm back, bitches.
And you're over here like, Jackson's not here, so we gotta come up with our own bit.
Gotta do a bit. Listen, man, this podcast is nothing without our bits.
You know what really bums me out is I just said that while aggressively pushing my microphone back about like 2 feet with my face. And I know that won't translate in audio form, but it was like the whole mood of how I did it was
it was aggressive. It was very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, guys, I came back just to replace Jackson for this one episode, and then I'm gone again forever. Definitely how that's gonna happen.
Sounds about right, though. You haven't really been around much, and we all know it's because you hate us.
I mean, that is most of it. Also, like, you had Nina, and that was a whole thing. Couldn't be there for that. I didn't want to upstage her, you know.
Exactly. I mean, if there's one person that you definitely can't upstage, it's definitely going to be Nina, especially in the D&D world.
Yeah. I would never do something like that. No, I'm back. At least this week. Realistically, I would like to say that I'll definitely be around the next 2 or 3 weeks, but Dan's adventures in travel are not over. Everything is in limbo right now, which is fun. It's fun. The audio quality has probably also changed. You guys are going to notice a lot more echo because I am sitting in my girlfriend's parents' parlor in South Carolina right now. I can say in Myrtle Beach, it's fine. It's nice out. Been living high life with. Really, the weather has actually just been really hot. I mean, it's been good hot, but it's been hot. So kind of a vacation, but not, because I've been doing more apartment hunting and stuff. Let's see, where did we last leave? We last left off with me talking, I think, that I was about to move.
I was gonna say we left off with you saying, yeah, so pretty soon I'm gonna be moving. But I'll get you guys more of a heads up before that happens.
And then I didn't, because I had to get out of my apartment like a week before. I had to leave a week before that I thought I had to, because I was something miscommunicated somewhere. But I had to leave a week before I thought I had to, and then I had. I stayed at Dave, a friend of the podcast, Dave's house for a little bit. Thank you so much, Dave. He put me up for about a week. And then Michelle came up, helped me move the last of my stuff into a storage unit. And I came down here for a month or so while we find a new job and find an apartment. Luckily, she found a job pretty quickly. We just put down some stuff for the apartment today, but it means I'm not moving back up. The current plan is to move up September 16th. That's the goal, which is a little less than a month from when we're recording this right now. No pressure. That said, once we move, it's probably going to take me another like week and a half to get everything set back up, because the other big thing that happened during the move was that my desktop died. The one that I usually record all the episodes on and do all of the gaming and everything on died. We think it is either the motherboard or the CPU, but there's no way to test without like one or the other. So I have a friend of mine who may have a motherboard for me that he's talking about sending over to test everything. So we're gonna see how that goes. And if that works, I'll be back on my desktop by like not next episode, but probably the episode after. If it doesn't work, that means I'm out a entire system until I can scrounge up like $500 to replace the entire system. Because if I replace, so I was talking to Noah about this, but the problem is that all of my stuff is like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old at least. I think the newest thing is like it's actually a lot older. It's like 10 years old. The newest thing is from like 2011 or something like that. And the problem is that my RAM is too old to be compatible with a lot of modern motherboards. And so if I got a new motherboard, it would be cheaper than replacing my current one. Like a new motherboard, new CPU would actually still be cheaper than replacing my current two, because they're old and they aren't like, it's just people handing them down now. So replacing them is kind of the plan. But if I do that, I have to replace my RAM as well. And if I do that, I feel like I might as well just replace the graphics card and just be done with the whole damn thing and have a whole new setup. So
yeah, no, I feel that. That's what happened when my computer went down. What do you call? Early on in the podcast, actually.
Yeah, it was really early on. I remember that.
Because that was a whole time. And I had to do all my editing on my laptop for a little while, which kind of blew.
Yeah, that I can imagine.
Yeah, no, my computer. Luckily, we were a few episodes like we had a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, if only we'd had that now, right?
I know, right? But yeah, my motherboard, I thought my graphics card died, so I bought a new graphics card. Turns out my motherboard died. Yikes. But when I had to get a new motherboard because I was running AMD, and AMD doesn't play well with new technology. You have to like keep pretty consistent. So I had to upgrade my motherboard, my processor, and my RAM was too old to carry over, so I needed new RAM. And at that point, we just decided to keep upgrading, so we went into water cooling. I needed a new hard drive. Everything about my computer died all at once.
Amazing.
I've never been happier that I kept so much stuff in the cloud.
Honestly, what a mood. I'm glad my hard drives, as far as I know, haven't died yet. Those are about the only thing that are still stable. But realistically, I probably need to like wipe them completely and get new ones, because the newest one in those is a solid state that I got like 2 or 3 years ago. No, not even a year and a half ago, something like that. So yeah, it's been a whole adventure. Hopefully it'll all be fixed soonish, but like also I'm not trying to spend $500 on a new computer when I'm trying to move into an apartment in less than a month, because things are more important than a new computer, like eating and paying rent and bills. But being down here for a little bit, yeah, it's pretty valid. I think it's important, but what am I? What do I know? But yeah, so that's where that's at. Let's see. Those are the big ones. Those are all the big ones. I think those are all the big ones. Those are all the really big life-shattering realizations I've had recently.
There's some good realizations, though, I would say.
I mean, yeah, it's not all bad. Like I said, I did just like put in an application for an apartment today, so we're making moves. Michelle got an offer letter for a job she wanted. Like things are happening. It's just I wish that they were not so chaotic right now.
Oh no, for sure. I feel that.
My day and day. I honest to God, part of it is I just want to get into the new place, because I want to I could be spending some of my spare time that I'm not applying to jobs and doing other shit, like designing the inside, like the way the house layout is going to be, because Michelle kind of gave me free reign over what we do with like we've been aiming for a second bedroom, right? Because
that way you actually have like a room to do work and stuff.
Exactly. Because she did all her work from like one of those like side bed, like the little tables that you have like. Honestly, it's the tables that you have like when you're sick and they roll them up to your bed, and like that's where she's been setting her laptop for like the last like many years. Like since we started dating, she just works from her bed. But I cannot do that. I will go crazy. And since I have a desktop, I'm trying to get an actual like proper office setup, which she's kindly let me kind of do all the design for that. I'm excited. I mean, obviously subject to approval, blah, 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 because she has standards of living. But I'm excited. I have kind of some plans for that. I really just want to I want to be there, or I want to be moved out. I want to be gone. I want to be done. Like I want to be set, like moving on to the next thing, and not just like kind of spinning my wheels right now, which is what it feels like. But like I said, not all bad. It's just waiting, really. It's a lot of waiting for things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I very much get that one. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
just out here being a mess. Yeah. So on non-life update fronts, a few things have happened in the world of video games that I would like caught up on.
Yeah.
Because Dan mentioned a few things to me that I had not heard of.
Yeah. So
not the least of which being Saints Row 5 got announced.
In like the most bullshit way possible.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a hot second.
So I think it's THQ. No, not THQ anymore. Who does Saints Row now? Volition, yeah. I don't know why.
They always THQ
was THQ the publisher?
I think so.
Okay, that makes sense. No, it was Deep Silver that was the publisher. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. That's right. So it was confirmed, and they literally the entire confirmation was Volition had a press release, and like some like buried in like the press release stuff was like, oh, stuff we're working on, and it was like, oh yeah, Saints Row 5 is deep in development right now, and I'm like, wait a second, hold on, back up a second. You can't just drop that on us and not say anything. And that's what they did. That's literally what they did. Some people are theorizing, oh no, they're not going to be at Gamescom this year. They just tweeted. Some people were talking about whether or not they were going to be at Gamescom this year, but they just said yesterday that they are absolutely not. So that's cool, but not great, but cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to talk about what we wanted out of this, because we both have strong opinions on this game.
So ages and ages ago, back when Dan and I both streamed, way back in the day,
less than a month and a half ago.
It's
2 months ago.
I haven't streamed since PAX, dude, or not PAX.
Seriously?
Since E3.
Damn, son, you got to get back on that game. At least you can. Mm-hmm. The only reason I didn't is because I am literally
your computer just bit the dust.
Well, and I'm also in I'm moving, so
A valid reason to not. But yeah, you know, way back when we had this goal to stream the entirety of Saints Row 4 together. And then we decided not to stream it anymore and just kind of try and play through Saints Row 4 together.
Which was, honestly, I still enjoy that time. But that game is no good.
It's not a good game.
No.
And my main issue with that is, like, you got a lot of people defending this game, you know? A lot of people really did enjoy how out there it went. And that's fine. People can enjoy that. But, like, I came into the game in Saints Row 3, which was already a little wacky and out there, but it was just the right level of wacky and out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about it. It was like, it was grounded enough to be good, but it was different enough to not be so blatantly a GTA ripoff, even though it definitely is, you know?
Yeah. Well, and like, that was kind of the fun of it. It in the same way that Just Cause, to me, it was always Just Cause is to Far Cry what Saints Row is to GTA. Like, that was how I always kind of mentally established it. Whereas Just Cause just doesn't take itself as seriously, and over time has gotten more and more ridiculous. The thing I think that sets them apart is that while Just Cause has gotten more ridiculous and only gotten better for it, in my opinion, I mean, the story suffered, but like, when did you ever play Just Cause for the story, really? You could actually play Just Cause 3, not Just Cause, you could play Saints Row 3 for the story and actually have a good time with it. Like, some of the characters in that are still some of my favorite.
Story. Yeah.
Shoddy and blanking on the other one, Tech Chick. What is her name all the time? Wow. What is her name?
I don't remember.
Oh no. Tech Chick. Yeah, those two are some of my favorite characters, like, ever. But doesn't make it a good, like, doesn't make 4 a good game. And then, well, and also Oleg.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kinsey, not Kenzie.
Kinsey, yeah, that's what it is. When did Saints Row 4 come out? I mean, it doesn't matter. Not like anyone gives a shit about spoilers for it. But I'm gonna double check anyway. Is it over the no?
2013. 2013.
Yeah.
Freaking
so
heck.
like, I feel like we're 6 years in. We can give spoilers for the game, right? Like, nobody's about to go play it, right?
The story of Saints Row 4 was so bad you can't spoil it.
No, you can spoil the very beginning. The very beginning is the only part of the story that mattered.
Okay, the very beginning was actually kind of funny, but go off. Spoil that
Oleg.
beginning, because
Oleg is the thing I want to talk about. Like,
yes, please do.
So the very beginning of Saints Row 4 starts with you as, like, literally the president, which is fun, and then you get to, like, go through and be presidential or whatever, and then you get to fight. Was it actual aliens? I can't remember how that intro worked, but you fight aliens or whatever, and it doesn't work. You get kidnapped. That part actually the best part of the game, in my opinion. There were actual stakes.
It was a good time.
Like, everything you'd built in the previous game kind of felt like you just built on that. Like, it felt like your character was more powerful than you were beforehand, which is always fun. And
yeah, because that's always the big issue with games that are like direct sequels that actually pick up where the game left off. No, especially when they allow you to import your save and they tease you with stuff, and they're over here like, oh, hey, look at this game. You got all your stuff, but now you're going to lose it because that's just how life works.
I hate it, but it's the only way that they can do it. Yeah,
I know. I get why they do it, and that's fine.
Everything's done it. Everything from Mass Effect to Assassin's Creed to Saints Row has done it. It's just...
Arguably, Mass Effect did it the best because they literally just killed you. And then they're like, oh, here you are, you're back, and you got all our funding, but sucks that you lost all your stuff when you died.
And Assassin's Creed 2, no, not 2, 3 did an okay job of it as well, because they
Brotherhood,
yeah, they cannon the shit out of the side of, like, your and everything is great palace, which is fun. I did love how, like, I mean, you couldn't import a save, but they just assumed that you had all the best stuff, and you started out with so much stuff and the big health bar and all the stuff, and then like, oh, psych, you aren't bringing anything with you. So that was
like,
fun.
There's ways to do it well, and I would argue that the way Saints Row 4 did it, it worked out at the beginning. You know,
for the context of how ridiculous the game is, yeah, I would agree. Sorry, I realized I totally interrupted you, and then I tried to stop myself, but it was too late.
No, you're good. You're good.
You guys, it's been so long. I'm not used to podcasting anymore. But yeah, so that part was fine. They kidnap all your crew, and you get matrixed into, like, the essentially, it literally is essentially the Matrix. Like, that's the, like, the bit they're doing is that you get matrixed. Here's the problem: they fucking destroy the Earth. Like, that's what happens. That's like the beginning of, like, Act 1. If you look at, like, all that stuff as a prologue, the beginning of the actual game is they blow up the Earth. Because they're like, oh, don't escape or we'll blow up the earth. And everyone's like, nah, you're not going to blow up the earth, you dummies. And then they blow up the earth. And they killed off like 2 of the best characters in the game because of it. Because they're assholes.
Yeah. Because there's a lot about that game that was actually like a good time and very enjoyable.
It's just.
But then there was also that was not. And I think the issue is they decided to far too heavily embrace the one part of Saints Row 3 where you were like all drugged out and thought you had superpowers. And they made that the whole game.
Well, I think Saints Row 4 originally was a Saints Row 3 DLC, wasn't it? That was really originally designed.
See, that's the thing is it feels like that because it's all the same characters. There's very few new characters. And of the new characters, none of them are very compelling. The whole thing feels like a knockoff of other games, which it's kind of their thing. But like every time you were on the ship, that was KOTOR 2.
KOTOR 2?
Maybe
really?
KOTOR 1 as well. But
yeah, you know what? It did have a KOTOR feel, didn't it? You're not wrong. I didn't think of it that way. Like,
because you're walking around this ship, and it didn't have a Mass Effect feel, because Mass Effect had other people. It was like fleshed out a little bit. KOTOR, on the other hand, you're on your tiny little ship with just your crew and no extras.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, in KOTOR, you can bang everybody.
Which is always... You can do that in Saints Row. You can do that in Saints Row as well.
No, that's the thing. That's the point. Whereas Mass Effect, you could, but not in the same way.
Yeah, not all of them, just most of them. Yeah, that's fair.
Exactly. I don't know. It just gave me very strong KOTOR vibes versus like anything else. And,
no, that's fair.
I mean, honestly, not bad. That's fine, you know? But like, you know, there's just an awful lot of stuff about it that I just wasn't happy with.
Some of the powers were fun. Like the other thing is it completely removed vehicles from the game. Like essentially, why would you ever be in a vehicle when you have like the ability to just run at 1,000,000 miles per hour down the street? Like
exactly, because it's way easier to get around when you can run and jump everywhere. And I get that, and that's fine. But like in Saints Row 3, I was a skeleton pope and I had a hearse, and I had so much fun with that.
Well, you had aesthetic and you had a lot more choices in that regard too. Yeah, exactly.
Like, there were so many more things I felt like I could do in Saints Row 3 that Saints Row 4, that's another thing about it. It was the same map. Everything about it just felt like ripped off Saints Row 3, which if it was originally a DLC, then
makes a lot more
sense.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that the story was so painfully repetitive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's disappointing, that's for sure.
But that's what I want Saints Row 5 to be. I want it to be a return to 3, preferably like maybe even a step back from 3.
I would say the best way, in my opinion, like the way they do it ideally is they cop out and make fun of themselves and do the whole "it was all a dream," because that's Saints Row is the only like universe that I feel like that almost works in.
Exactly.
If they want to do a step back from that, I think I would be like, oh, that's bullshit. But also, like, you literally have no way to write yourself out of the corner you wrote yourself into. Like, exactly. It has to all have been a dream. Or even from the beginning, like the alien thing happened, but you are still in the ship or something. And like the whole thing has all been a simulation within a simulation. And even that I would be fine with.
Because that would be really, really funny.
That would be hysterically funny. Like, I'd be on board for... Well, and they did Get Out of Hell, so I don't know how that all works either. I don't know. I never finished Saints Row 4. No, you finished it once, right?
I did finish it, yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, the ending sucked.
Is it not? is it because they didn't know how to end a game where they blew up the Earth?
Yeah, no, the game just kind of like ends and you sit on the alien throne and you're like, hey, and that's it.
I hate that. I hate that a lot. I hate that so much. I actually might hate that the most. You kill the
big bad and you take everything over, and that's it.
I mean, that's how it should be, but like
it is how it should be. But the fact that it is what happened makes it angry.
Yeah,
makes me freaking heck. I don't know what I'm saying.
You can talk. Angry. It's fine.
I can tell.
It hasn't been a month and a half for you to record a podcast. You don't have excuses.
No, I don't. I could throw out my excuse of like yesterday, but I don't think that's valid since I'm like clearly not inebriated today.
Nah, man.
Just a quick plug for joining our Discord. We played Cards Against Humanity last night, and my rum hit me so much harder than I thought it would.
No, I
also drank way more than I thought I did.
Last night overall, or like?
Last night overall, yeah.
Yeah, because you kept being like, oh, I guess it's time for another rum. And we're like, all right, I said do it, and everyone else said no, don't do it.
You thought that I drank way more than I did. I had one of those like tall cans of Coke, and I just wanted to finish the tall can of Coke.
Jesus. That stuff better have been like 50% rum.
Yeah. Well, the first one was. The second one was much more reasonably mixed. Funny thing about rum and Coke, I can drink any blend of rum and Coke if it has ice.
Interesting.
Because if it has ice, no matter what you do to it, it just tastes like vanilla Coke. It could be 90% rum with a splash of Coke, and it still just tastes like vanilla Coke. Because
I am not a huge rum person, so I wouldn't know.
That is fair. Like if you do Captain Morgan is a really good one for it, because Morgan has a really smooth taste anyway. So you pick your spiced Captain Morgan and you pop it in your Coke. It just tastes like a vanilla Coke. You can tell there's alcohol in there, but with the ice, it makes everything cold enough that it just goes down really nice and easy. Flip side, excuse me. Flip side, the big issue is when you don't have ice, you taste that rum a lot more. Also, Kraken is just actually stronger than Morgan by like 8%.
Fair. That's significant.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was about it. That was why I had a bad time. But no one else would have had a bad time listening to me talk like an idiot for about 3 hours. So
no, it was a good time.
We played Cards Against Humanity for the first time in ages, so y'all can come and join that. We have an off-the-air joke deck.
Which we need to expand, I feel like. As Nina pointed out, we really haven't had any really like long-running bits lately.
No, there haven't been any good new jokes recently. But that's okay.
I don't know, man. Noah Prime is really been kicking my ass lately. The problem is it's only funny because of the visual. Like, it doesn't work as like a baseline joke.
Yeah.
Speaking of booze, since Jackson's not here, I actually can do a Dan's Corner. It's not beer, but it is cider. Michelle and I had Down East. I don't know if you've ever had it before.
No, I haven't.
It's amazing. It is a unfiltered craft cider, based out of Boston, actually.
Nice.
That
Boston, where we went for PAX.
Exactly. That when we first had it was on tap, and the big thing that like Michelle and I both freaked out a little bit about is that you could actually still see like tiny bits of pulp of apple left in like the can, like intentionally. Like that's how it's supposed to be, or in the jar, in the glass rather, not the can.
Yeah.
And like their whole thing is that they're unfiltered and all that. It's really good. It's only like 5.1% or something like that for the base one, and it might be the best cider I've ever had. It's a little on the pricey side though. So, but
honestly, I feel like that's just cider though.
Well, and yeah, exactly.
Like if you're going for if you're not going for Angry Orchard,
and there's nothing wrong with Angry Orchard, to be clear.
There's nothing, honestly. I just I was at a wedding not last week. Well, I was at a wedding last week.
I was gonna say, weren't you also like 2 or 3 days ago?
Yeah, no, I was at a wedding yesterday. No, 2 days. I was at a wedding 2 days ago. I was at a wedding 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Goodness, fam.
And the wedding 3 weeks ago, I had Angry Orchard's Rosé, which was really nice.
No, the rosé is phenomenal, my dude.
Also, I didn't know this, but it is their strongest beverage as well.
It doesn't taste like it, but it is.
It doesn't. It's got a nice little tartness going on.
I'm a huge fan of the rosé.
I'm hijacking your cider corner, so please.
No, I mean that was pretty much all of it. They don't have a ton of information on the can. It's like a very here. Hold on, I can send you the image of the can. I actually love their can design. It's very like understated. Like it's very simple. Which I'm always a huge fan of. Almost minimalistic, but not quite. And yeah, it's just really good.
It's a squat can.
It looks squat because of the image. It's a normal sized can.
Okay, that's an ugly image. I'm gonna find a better one.
Go for it, man. I mean, live your best life. I just grabbed the one they have on their site, but yeah, Down East cider. It's pretty good.
Nice.
That was pretty much all of it. I mean, I'm not Jackson. I don't have like a ton of things to talk about besides the fact that it has like little remnant shreds of apple left in it, which I usually don't like pulp. Like I don't do pulp in like orange juice or anything, but for the cider, it worked really well.
Personally, gigantic fan of pulp in orange juice, but you know.
Yeah. No, you're wrong. That's fine.
That's yeah. Everyone's allowed to have their opinions on that.
Oh man, did you guys talk about the Barstool Sports thing?
No, it hadn't happened yet. That is honestly the funniest thing I've ever seen, just because of how heavily that
that
blew back in his face. And you know what? Dan, please explain the Barstool Sports things to anyone
Let me go find the original tweet.
Okay, so while you actually find the facts, I can give the really brief rundown. So what happened is Dave Portnoy, the CEO of Barstool Sports, had issues, or he does not like unions. And there were certain people that when they learned that, they were just tweeting and they're like, hey, Barstool Sports employees, I'm a lawyer that specializes in unions. Give us a shout because we're worried for you. You know, that kind of stuff. To which classy lassie Dave Portnoy is out here just like, if anyone contacts these people in any way, you're fired.
So it
which,
so yeah,
go figure. People don't like that.
It's very good. It started out with, I think he literally just said like, friendly reminder of how I feel about unions. And something to the effect of like,
that's a terrible way to start a conversation. No one wants your friendly reminder about unions.
And then he said, I'm trying to find the original tweet. Hold on. Let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised if it got deleted.
I would, because he's a coward. Or because he's not a complete coward, rather. So I don't think he would delete a tweet because it's part of like branding or whatever.
My brand is being terrible to my employees on Twitter.
Okay,
also,
so yeah, it was he sent out a tweet that said, "Heard at Ringer employees want to unionize. Friendly reminder of how I feel about unions," and that's how it started. And he just literally was a entire like he put out he tweeted to an article that he wrote that that was like about how much he hates unions, and he's like, "Oh, I want Gawker to unionize so I can break their little screens." He's a big baby. And then he in that thing he literally says, "Oh, I hope Barstool employees try to unionize. Can't tell how much I want them to unionize. Deserve health insurance. You don't think you should have to work with squirrels in the office. You don't think I should duct tape Hank to the walls. Well, now you can leave. You can't leave. No more free water. No more vacation days."
I would love to know what goes through a person's head that thinks, yeah, I can tweet this. There's no way this is going to backfire on me.
And then there's a guy named, that doesn't matter what his ad is, that tweeted that was like, "Oh, if you work for Barstool and you want to have a private conversation about how the unionization process, how little power your boss has to stop you and how you can leverage that power to make your life better, my DMs are open." To which he responded, if you work for Barstool Sports and DM this man, I will fire you on the spot. Which is great. And yeah, AOC got into it and was like, if you're a boss tweeting firing threats to employees trying to unionize, you're likely breaking the law and can be sued, in your own words, on the spot. And then there was like a guy who tweeted about how, I'll work pro bono for it. If you need help setting up a union lawyer, employee lawyer who will work pro bono to help you guys set up a union. And now here we are a little bit later, and surprise, surprise, he's under investigation because, well, the National Labor Relations Board doesn't want you to break the law by saying you're not allowed to talk about unions in your place of work. Which, side note, in case you guys aren't aware, you are allowed to talk about unions in your place of work no matter where you work. They legally cannot fire you for that. They can fire you for a whole host of other reasons. So like they can always like worm around it, but they
with the exception of situations like Jackson mentioned, where it's literally in your contract that you won't talk about it.
No, they can't put that in the contract. That's the thing. Like legally, really? They can't maintain that in the contract. Yeah, that legally they have to allow you to be able to talk about it at work. So just a side note. Nice. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun. It's been really fun to watch because he is real upset. He's throwing out big words on Twitter, and it's like, bud, you need to realize that like even if you have this opinion, even if you like promote it internally, like you're gonna get fined like hard because that's illegal. You can't do that. So that's where that's at. And it's very funny to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's very, very amusing.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just because like I still just want to know how he thought this would go well.
He didn't care. Not as somebody who doesn't like follow Barstool Sports, I've understood that they kind of just say things to rile people up. It's kind of been my view on him, and like I think he just said it to rile people up, and look at that, it worked. Who would have thought? Surprise Pikachu face. So yeah, scummy and gross and kind of a shitty boss, it sounds like. Although I do like his threat to duct tape Hank to the wall. That's very funny to me.
Yeah, no, that's kind of amusing. Mostly because, like, if it weren't for the fact that he's like clearly not nice people, that would be a work environment I would love to work in. Because that just makes him sound like a fun, goofy guy. But then he's out here like, and then I'll literally kill you if you unionize. And it's like, well, that's a problem.
You can't say that.
Sir, I'm sorry, but it looks like you just can't say that.
That's illegal.
Oh my gosh, Dan. Oh my gosh. You want a big throwback?
Hit me. What you got?
I just found something on my desk that it brings a tear to my eye remembering it.
What you got?
Jolt eye drops. The gamer's eye drops.
I had to explain that to people the other day. I don't remember what the context was, but they were all like, well, why would you do that? And I'm like, that was what I said.
Let's see. What's in
Why
this?
did we never get that Jolt eye drop sponsorship, Noah?
Because they never answered me. I was so ready. I would sell my soul to promote Jolt on this stupid show because it's so funny that these eye drops that just feel like dropping eucalyptus in your eye, that someone thought it was a good idea to sell these and market them as the gamer's eye drops.
That's so funny. Oh,
I'm going to use them again right now.
Oh, great. Speaking of shitty business practices and gamers, the other big thing I wanted to mention that I'm kind of mad that I haven't been able to play lately because everything's broken. But Apex got a new update, and lads,
please give me some info about that Apex update, because before we were recording, we were touching on like what we were going to talk about, and then Dan mentioned like Apex did like a sharp turn and went deep end on stuff, and I'll be honest, I haven't played it in months, because I was unhappy with their patching schedule for like actual problems. So I gave up on it, and I figured I'd come back later. And apparently it did not get better. So Dan, please tell me about how much it did not get better.
So here we go. So pulling from happygamer.com. They dropped an update in a little while ago for Apex Season 2, which was the Iron Crown event. It was a bunch of new skins, a new solo mode for the arena. Really, like, kind of cool stuff, actually. I actually kind of really wanted to play the solo mode if I had gotten the chance, but I didn't. However, it also has a store, and the store is some bullshit. Let's see. Each Iron Crown pack, basically a normal Apex pack with increased chance of a legendary item, is 700 Apex coins, which is like $7.
Okay.
To unlock every item in the Iron Crown event, you need to purchase 22 packs in total, including the two for 22. Yep.
22.
To be able to purchase the new heirloom, there are only a couple of them in the game. They're usually melee weapons of some kind. Like there's a fancy knife that you can get and some other stuff.
I remember. Yeah, I've seen that knife. It like literally is just a cosmetic add-on to your melee attack.
And a new animation on it. You need to unlock all the items and then pay over 3,500 Apex coins, and it's a cool axe. That's it. And people are salty about it. I
mean, I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Well, and some people are saying, it's not so much the actual like price. It's the fact that like all of a sudden people are seeing this as like how EA is doing like another like heavy thing from EA of like, oh, microtransactions are ruining everything. Because Respawn made very clear that they really were not trying to do microtransactions for anything if we could. Besides, like, obviously the like specific cosmetics. And like you can make the argument that technically speaking, it all is cosmetic, and like you don't have to buy them for any reason if you don't want to. Which my usual argument is you should theoretically, like even if it's low chance, be able to unlock every item in the game eventually, given enough time.
Yeah.
Not all people agree with that, but that's my thought. Is like even if it takes you 10,000 hours, you theoretically should be able to unlock every item in the game. In Apex, you cannot. After a certain point, they lock you out of getting more loot boxes for playing.
And so that's honestly, that is a shitty thing to do.
That is a really shitty thing to do.
Like,
and I get that they want money,
for example.
Yeah,
Battlefront 2 will take you hundreds of hours to unlock everything if you just do it naturally, but you can.
Yeah, it's very doable. I have a couple of characters that are maxed out because of it, like just because I've only put like maybe 100 hours, 200 hours into the game.
I really want to. I know I say this about a lot of things. I would love to play that game again, even though I know I'm not going to get around to it anytime soon.
Well, if I get my stupid, like if I actually end up upgrading my system, a lot of games that like such as Battlefront, honestly, that doesn't really run great on my current system, will be like kind of open again to me. I'll be able to actually play games, which will be nice. But we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out in the next like month or so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's a lot of it. And then there were things from both sides where Respawn was like, and then it got worse because. I'm trying to find the exact quote, but there was a quote that said something to the effect of, like, from one of the devs that said something to the effect of, I remember, I'm really not going to engage with this. I remember when there was actual discussion instead of a bunch of ass clowns whining about a free game. I would love to, actually be able to talk. But here we are, and I can't even do anything because of all you crybabies. I'm tired of gamers telling me a mob yelling me to say jump and me having to say how high and stuff like that. Not a great PR move. Not great. Which I will admit, hot take, the gaming community is shitty and self-centered, and like he's not completely wrong. It's just real bad timing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete asshats to developers, and it was pretty neat. I forged a bunch of long-lasting relationships. It would be awesome to get back there. Not engaging with toxic people or screaming how high when a mob screams jump is hopefully a start. So, I mean, they're trying, and I would argue that like Respawn is definitely like they're trying, but I also think that Big Daddy EA is probably forcing their hand a little bit.
I would agree with that. Because they had to sign some stuff to get their game on there because there's a reason it's getting given out for free.
They got bought. That's the thing. They got bought.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, but yeah, that's most of the drama. It's kind of sad, and like I kind of want to. It makes me honestly the shitty thing is that the drama honestly just makes me want to go play it again because I haven't played it in so long, and I miss it, and I really enjoy that game like a lot.
Like I think we were talking about this, but like I hadn't even thought about playing the game recently, and then like you're mentioning it and. Same thing. I'm just kind of like tempted.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's still shitty. And like, I'm not going to spend money on the game, but I was never going to spend money on the game in the first place. So, yeah.
I don't know. Bums me out.
Yeah, it definitely bums me out.
But it's not.
And like, they made a whole lot of stuff early on that they were like, yeah, we're really trying not to become a pay to win game, yada, yada. We're trying to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and like, be able to be like, yes, we are making this game for the fans and not just like to make money. But at the same time, like Big Daddy EA.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I also try not to get too heavy on the EA hate train because EA's done some stupid stuff and has, they've sunk a lot of things that I actually care about.
Yeah, that's fine.
At the same time, I also try not to hate on them too much because I know that, they're not as bad as they could be.
Yeah. I mean, they've done worse things in the past.
No, exactly. They've sunk a lot of labels that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. But I also think that like...
honestly, when it comes down to it, Steam isn't much better anymore either.
Yeah, but Steam doesn't charge microtransactions for every game that they develop because they don't develop a game. They just are a platform now.
And I want them to get back into developing, but it's not important.
I mean, I've heard amazing things about their new VR gear, like amazing things. I've heard I've just heard it's really, really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And has actual like tactile like levels of grip and stuff. Like it looks dope, and I really want to try it out. But I am poor and will not have a VR headset. That said, moving into a new place, who knows? This time next year, I could have my own VR setup, and I would be very happy. I would cry. I would probably cry. I'm not even gonna lie.
I would love to have a VR setup.
You have the room for it.
Not right now. I don't.
Well, you will have the room for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big news in my life. My roommate's getting married.
So is he getting married now? I thought he was just moving out.
Well, so the timeline was he was moving to Africa to become a full-time missionary, which firstly, mad respect. That is not something I could do. And I think that's really cool for him.
I think it's very cool for him. Yeah. It's a cool thing that he's doing.
And that meant that I was going to be here by myself, which honestly, that's fine. Rent here is so cheap, and having a bigger place to expand my living into outside of this little room, not a bad plan. I'm down with it. Flip side, that was scheduled for November, However, now Brock's getting married. So congrats to him. Very, very excited for him. That's really neat. But he's getting married at the end of next month, and he's moving out before that. Yeah, so I guess honestly I probably would have updated you about this sooner. This is not nearly as like last minute as it may be coming off as right now.
I mean, that's still pretty soon.
It is soon, but it has to happen before he moves to Africa because she's moving with him.
Oh, that's cute. I mean, of course she is, because obviously at that point, but like still
both super passionate about it, which
that's cute.
Perfect match. But he's leaving in the beginning of September. So
cool.
I'm about to have this place to myself 2 months sooner than I thought I would.
That's always fun.
Which I found out when I'm like, oh, hey, Brock, just so you know, I don't remember when you're going to be actually leaving the country, but Nina's going to come to visit in like early November. And he's like, oh, I'll be out of the apartment by then. I'm getting married on this day, so I'm going to be gone before the...
Did he not invite you to the wedding?
No. He at that point, he literally had set the date the night before.
Amazing.
Right? Yeah, no, I have the invite sitting up in front of me right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was it's really funny.
That's so funny. Good for him.
Yeah, it's a good time though.
Yeah. You use up some of that space. Take the time. Listen, as somebody who has now lived alone for a little bit, this is going to sound weird, but I'm being 100% serious.
Okay.
Genuinely take the time to literally just like be like naked in your own house and just walk around. It is the most freeing thing. I'm not saying that to be gross. I am so serious. So
my big plan for once he moves is I'm going to take over the entire living room and turn that into my computer room.
How big is your living room?
It's half the house, basically.
Jesus. Well, so like kind of like my old place? Like size wise.
I gotta have you here sometime.
Eventually.
Like the front, it's more like a third of the house. The front third of the house is living room. Then there's hallway and Brock's room. Then there's kitchen and hallway, bathroom and my room.
Okay. I mean,
it's nice. The only downside is it might be a little loud, but I have these plans. I'm going to get some blackout curtains. I know where I'm going to put the TV. I know where I'm going to put my computer and like actually set up like a sound dampened recording spot.
That's fun. Get one of those like divider things that you can set up behind you.
Yeah, you know, honestly though.
I'm actually thinking of getting one for myself, or hell, even just throwing one together out of like carpeting, literally.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to buy some squishy foam and set that up real nice.
Yeah, but I mean, go for it. That I really want to do that. I have to wait. Obviously, I have to wait till I move, and then I have to like get Michelle to sign off on everything I do now. This is my life, guys. Send help. Don't send help. It's a good life.
It is a good life, and I'm very happy for you.
I know so many people who are all like, oh, fucking. You know, we've talked about before the whole ball and chain thing, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever think that like that is Michelle and I's relationship at all.
Right. Honestly, Jeff and I have talked about this on many occasions. So there's this, firstly, Alec with a pen on Instagram. Check out that dude. He makes really funny comics, but one that he made was this like really just kind of skeezy looking stand-up comedian, and he's just like, my girlfriend always be nagging. And then the next panel was like just him being like I'm trying to chill. And then the next few panels were just like videos of him like showing that he has like all these likes and stuff for that bit. And then it shows him like, you know, on the cover of Time magazine, the thinking man's comedian, arguing like clearly like looking like he's arguing philosophy with somebody in like some TV interview. And it's the funniest thing I've ever read. Just like, my girlfriend always be nagging, because like that's every comedian and I hate it. Secondly, that's how it goes. And I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean that's basically how it is. And I don't know, man. Like maybe stop being a pain in the ass, and then maybe they won't be nagging. Like, hot take.
Guys at work are like that all the time too. Like the people that come in for their haircut and the guy I work with. But everyone's always talking about like their wife this, their girlfriend that. And I'm just like, guys, can't you just like, can you not talk?
Like adults?
I guarantee all of your problems will get fixed with a conversation.
Well, and like sometimes things aren't just like one of the things Michelle and I not argued about, we're like talking about was like, I have these two, this is some nerdy shit. I don't care. Oh, fuck it. It's not like deep into a relationship. I have swords. I
knew you were about to say something about those swords.
No, well, and it's fair. See, I have those swords, and in my old place, they were hanging up on the wall because I thought that was fun, and it was fun. I liked it. I liked the way they looked. I liked it how it set up. It was right above the TV.
Not gonna lie,
Michelle has very firmly told me that I will not be setting those up above the TV or probably in the office even. And you know what? Like, all right, fair. Like, Like I won't be like,
it's
oh,
such a How I Met Your Mother thing to do. I love the fact that conversation has been had.
Yeah,
it amuses me
it's such
so
like
much.
I don't know, man. It's just like it's not that deep. Just that's fair. Because that she wants to live in like a nice, like modern looking, like adult place. And there's something a little childish about having the swords above the TV. And it's not saying there's something wrong with that, just not the aesthetic that she runs under. And I'm like, all right, fair. But I got to talk her into into letting me design most of the office. So like I get to have like my fun shit in there. So yeah, I don't know.
Honestly,
it's just talk it out and like be adults about it.
Because hot take, you're in a relationship, you don't get to have your way all the time. Because
that's shit. Are you trying to talk about this thing called compromise?
I am, man.
We can't talk about
gosh. That. Well, here's the thing though. You can get all kinds of stuff. You can every single thing in your life that you want, you can do that. But when you choose to add someone else to the equation, you choose to give up some of that like power to just go and be doing whatever it is you want. In
kind of the same way that like having kids restricts you like in certain ways, but lets you do other things. Like having a significant other is like, I don't know, dude. It's compromise. It's just like and sometimes there are things that you won't compromise on. That is like you will eventually like, me with my great relationship advice, you guys. I'm going to do welcome to the relationship advice podcast. It's Jackson's not here, so no one I can talk about this. That's mean. That felt mean. I didn't like that. Anyway, yeah, no, like there are things that you can have that you're like, no, I'm not compromising on this. And like, there are things that they can have that are going to be like, I'm not compromising on this. It's just a matter of like, if it's that big of a deal for you, my dude, like, then don't be in the like, sometimes relationships have deal breakers, you know what I mean? And I'm not like they just will. Eventually they're going to be something where they're like, no, this is a deal breaker. Either, I want this thing or like we really need to figure out what we're doing. And like 99.9% of the time, that thing, not that deep. And like, maybe they're coming from a different place. Maybe they see it in a different light than you do. Maybe they actually have reasons for the things they want and don't want. And like, just talk it out. Like,
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if it is that important, then someone is going to have a reason for it, and you talk about it, and it
either resolves or it doesn't. And like, if it doesn't resolve, then okay, then that's it then. Like that sounds so shitty, but like if neither of you are willing to compromise on something in a relationship, maybe you guys aren't exactly great in a relationship. Hot take. Spicy take. I don't know, man. It's just like, just stuff. Like, just be people. And that said, I'm a little sad that the swords are getting put in the closet. But see, I'm not that sad because it's not that like why, like when it comes down to like, why do you want that? I don't know. Cause they're kind of neat. Like it's not deep. It's not like, oh, why do you want a cat or a dog? Like it's such not an issue. Why do you want kids? Oh, cause they're kind of neat. Like I don't want kids, to be clear. That just it was a hypothetical. I don't know. I feel like I've gone off on this long enough. We've gone off on a couple of podcasts as well. Like we go off on this we used to go off on this semi-regular. I don't know what you guys do now. What even is this podcast anymore?
If you had ever been on the podcast, you might know.
Oh shoot. Call me out like that. Speaking of trying things out, Noah, do we still do ads on this show?
Funny thing, we haven't done ads in the last few weeks.
Wow. I feel like I'm the only thing keeping this.
When Jeff was here about how we weren't going to talk about our sponsor, audibletrial.com/offtheair, where you can get all kinds of audiobooks and a free month for using our URL, audibletrial.com/offtheair, to get yourself your free token, your free month subscription. We did talk about how we weren't going to talk about that.
Okay. So we need, what I'm hearing is that we really should look into finding a new sponsor.
I had reached out to a few people in the past. In my Twitter DMs right now, I messaged Stock Coffee, and I love their coffee so much, and they never reached out to me.
Yikes.
Me really sad, because I would plug their stuff for free.
No, you wouldn't. Don't say that. You need them to pay you.
No, I mean, like, no, that's the thing. Like, I do love their product enough that I would do it for free. Like, even if they were just like giving me some free stuff, like coffee, like a little bit of coffee here and there. Good Lord, I'd be so happy. Yeah. But, that's not going to happen.
Nah.
And that's fine. Nah. But like, I would love to plug their coffee. It's so good. It's better. Nina and I was taking her back to the airport when she came up to visit. Okay. She got herself a Starbucks, like, Frappuccino at the gas station. And there happened to be an almost identical flavor, but Stocks coffee right next to it. And I got myself that one. And I had her try it. She's like, wow, yours is way better than mine. And I'm like, oh, cool. So there it is. It's better than Starbucks.
Stop plugging them. They haven't paid us yet. God.
Maybe they will because they know how much I love them.
Oh, shit. So just a quick thing. Insomniac Games, the guys who did the new Spider-Man PS4, like in the last 24 hours, they got bought out by PlayStation. Last 3 hours. It happened 3 hours ago. I'm actually kind of okay with that. Except for the part where they're only going to make games for PlayStation now. But
I was going to get a PlayStation anyway. I'm going to be honest.
Like one of the things that Michelle and I have been talking about is like what game systems we are and aren't going to have. Like we already own some like older ones, but like I might just get a PS4 because I just want to play Spider-Man, you guys. I just want to be the Spider-Man.
I mean, you always hear the next one's supposed to be backward compatible. You always hear it.
Yeah, everyone always says it, and then it only happens half the time.
With a big old grain of salt. But I heard the PS5 is supposed to be backward compatible with what little info we have on it right now. I don't know. PlayStation has
wait till the PS.
a lot of really good single player games, and that's where I'm at right now. I really love me some good single players.
Honestly, I'll probably wait till the PS5 comes out and then pick up the PS4 is what I'll do because the prices on those is going to drop as soon as they come out.
Exactly. And the price of those games is not going to drop, so you may as well get the cheaper system since you're still going to be playing for the games.
Oh man, I went with Dave to this this little game shop in near Philly. I can't remember the name of it. Or I would plug it, and like some of the games he had in there were like hundreds of dollars just because like they're really like he had a copy of Melee for the GameCube, and that shit was like almost $150, something ridiculous like that.
Every now and then I think about that and the fact that I have a working GameCube and a copy of Melee, and I just think like I could make money off this, even though I know I won't.
Yeah. Let's see. Amazon says it's $164 new.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these are like I don't know, man. There are a couple
spicy hot take. Melee was not worth that money.
It's not worth that money unless that's like the game that like if that's the only game I ever owned for the GameCube, like I almost get it.
No.
We were talking about
I don't know.
Well,
I don't hold that much like nostalgic connection to video games. Like I love a lot of like GoldenEye 64. Good Lord, I love that game. But I don't want to play the story of it. I just want to play the versus mode. And I haven't found any games that scratch that itch. But I'm also not about to go out and buy myself an N64 and a copy of GoldenEye.
So even though it's like super expensive on Amazon, I just like looked it up because I have the Google page open and it's actually like $40 at GameStop. I think this might be the only time that GameStop has a price that's cheaper than what it is everywhere else. It kind of makes sense though. Like if they only sell things at retail value, like that almost makes sense. You know what I mean? There we go. Yeah, no, it's because of Nintendo's shitty like make fewer like supply and demand thing. Like they don't make enough supply to meet demand ever. Like that's their whole, that's like one of their big business model things. Because that way that their stuff like always maintains value. Like there are GameCube games that are still selling today for, well, like naturally, but also other ones that are like they literally sell for the exact same amount that they went on sale for because people still want them and they were never enough of them. So, but yeah, cool little game shop. I saw he had this thing hooked up to the TV that was essentially just a little gamepad, like what you'd see on like an arcade machine. And apparently the thing came like pre-installed with like 150, 250,000 games, something like that. And it was only like $125, and I might end up getting one for my new place. Cause like, and when I'm talking like games, I'm talking like old arcade stand-up machines, like that kind of thing. Which I don't know. I've always been into arcade machines. I love arcades. And like I might pick it up just for the house. I saw way back when somebody built a arcade cabinet with like a Raspberry Pi, just literally to play that game or to play things with it, with that like setup. Yeah. So I might do it. I have to see, but I'm really considering it. But that's all after I move, which who knows when that'll happen. I mean, I know when that'll happen, but who knows when I'll be like resettled. Are you still coming down to visit me? Speaking, hold on, let's finish the podcast. You know what? Go back, cut that bit. Hold on. Do we have anything else to talk about, Noah? We're getting on near the end here. I'm not trying to get out of here or anything, but I figured you have shit to do.
No, yeah, I don't. Gotta prep for my D&D game tonight,
and also you have to edit because
I also have to edit because a peek behind the curtain. This is Monday, and I have a day and a half to edit this episode.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Things happen.
It happens. Life happens. We wake up. It's Monday morning.
The choice was either recording without you and doing another me and Jackson episode, which makes 2 episodes in a row where I would have lied about bringing you back, or recording an episode that was, initially going to be with you and Jackson. I would just have less time to edit. And honestly, I've missed having you on here.
Aw, you sweetheart.
Because the point of having you, me, and Jackson on the podcast all together is that we all would balance each other, and with it just me and me and Jackson, or me, Jackson and Jeff, or me, Jackson and Nina, it's been a different dynamic. And
not a bad dynamic, just a different dynamic.
Yeah,
a dynamic,
the dynamic I planned.
Nothing is going according to my plan.
Hashtag not my dynamic.
I won't lie to you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be back next week, but I'm gonna tell you y'all that I'm trying real hard to be here. It's just I'm recording in my girlfriend's parents' side room, so I'm trying to be a good house guest, and also fine. Like finding a job, and also like having some freelance work down here that we've been working on. So like it's just been busy.
In the absolute worst case scenario that we don't really get you back on here until September, I think we'll be okay.
You'll replace me with if I have to be replaced.
I'll just replace you with a round circle of just a round. What am I saying?
A round. You're replacing with booze. I mean, that is pretty much accurate.
I was going to say a round circle of guests, and firstly, round circle is a big redundant statement. Secondly, that's not what I meant to say at all.
A rotation.
There it is. We'll just replace you with a rotation of guests.
Get some new guests on here.
Maybe we'll get Linda on here.
Who?
You know Linda.
I do know Linda. I didn't hear what you said. That's the problem.
The guests that you would actually be bummed to miss out on.
We should get Emma on here at some point.
Yeah, I'm not opposed.
If Emma's on here and I'm not on here, I'm gonna be very upset though. Just as a heads up.
That would be a biggie. Yeah. But anyway.
None of that is set in stone.
Later.
None of that is set in stone. Do not take any of that as like a promise.
I was gonna say this is all like a big up in the air moment.
Up in the air moment is the name of my new album.
Anyway, though,
Dan, bringing bits back. What's dead may never die.
You're not on the podcast anymore, so if people want to find out what's up with your life, where can they find you?
Honestly, right now, until I get back, pretty much just Twitter. Although, supposedly I'm getting a new phone in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
You might be on Instagram.
Which I might be back on Instagram finally. You guys, I have actually, I keep thinking, I should post something like this to Instagram, but then I try to take a picture with my phone and I'm like, oh, that's right, I can't. So I might actually be back on Instagram relatively soonly. And then when I get back and all set up, I'm definitely going to be back on streaming because that's what I like to do with my evenings. And I miss it a lot. So that's what we're at. But mostly Twitter, twitter.com/Wonder57 or in the Discord. Again, plug in the Discord because everyone in there, saints.
Honestly, though.
Except for Dave. He knows what he did. Come see the flawless the flawless identity theft going on in there right now. It's great.
Yeah, I'm looking at this recording right now because it's what's going on is Dan is impersonating me.
If you're on the video version, you can see the picture of it.
Oh yeah, fine. I'll take a picture of it. Why not?
That makes sense. But what it is as a bit, I changed my name to Noah's name because as an admin, I have access to do that. And then Nina was kind enough to draw Noah's avatar with a little mustache, and now he has a hat. And so I'm kind of hoping that somebody else picks up the ball and just adds another accessory to it. But we'll see.
Change my instrument, all kinds of things.
I really want it to be like a ukulele or something. But anyway, all that in the Discord.
Awful. I hate
all that in the Discord. The top pinned tweet of our Twitter. No, where can they find the podcast on Twitter? And then we'll come back to where they can find you on Twitter.
Well, you can go twitter.com/theofftheair.
Actually,
Facebook has we're on Facebook too at OTA Podcast, and we're on Patreon as just Off the Air. Go ahead and say first.
You can cut the in there from a second ago, but have we done a thing for Patreon this month? I wasn't here, so I wouldn't know.
We do have a Patreon shout out from Emma.
Ooh, what did Emma say?
She wants Jackson to say it.
Oh,
so
that's fair.
Do need to wait until he's back.
Okay, so that'll be pushing the end of the month. Actually, you're gonna be cutting that close. Hope Jackson's here next time.
Well, on the plus side, Emma didn't realize that was more than a one-time reward, so she was not expecting us to give her a second chance to talk.
That's
but don't
fair.
worry, we're gonna bring Emma back on here at least with her voice through our voice. So.
At least with her voice through our voice.
That's A, very ominous statement. B, very weird statement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to move past that. If you could review us on Apple Podcasts, that would be pretty fantastic.
That would be very, very hype. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right now, if you search, if you go to Google and search Off the Air podcast, we are the second result.
What's the first result?
So Chick McGee from Bob and Tom in the Morning, he has a podcast called Off the Air. So
when did this start?
Oh, ages ago, freaking ages ago. But it
how did
also
because it's an episode. No, it is Off the Air. It's called the Chick McGee Show. Why does it come up as Off the Air? That's stupid.
Off the Air Chick McGee. I don't really know.
That's so stupid.
But here's the thing: he hasn't released an episode in 2 years. He's been done on this for a long time.
And we are the result when it shows up as all the podcast links and all that. So
yeah, the podcast links link right to us, which is pretty fantastic. Not gonna lie, really huge boost to my self-esteem, even though nobody
ever listens to any of them.
Well, no, even though we are the second result, but like no other results link to us on this entire page outside of oh wait. Oh no, here's another one.
Yeah, nice. We got some. We're out there. We exist.
Yeah, so we're around.
I got to download iTunes to this computer so I can just finally get around to leaving that review.
That would be nice. But yeah, well, let's just get back to where you can find me, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, get out of here. Stop talking about the podcast.
I know, right? You can find me on pretty much all social media and sites in general as Bubbadabad, BUBBADABAD. I'm tweeting. I'm Instagramming. So if you want to know what's going on in like my personal life, that's probably the best way to go. Check Instagram. If you just want to know the thoughts that pop through my head, Twitter is the place to be. So also screw Facebook.
I mean, always screw Facebook. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't posted on Facebook in years. A year.
I have been incredibly less active on Facebook recently, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, you get less sad.
Yeah,
honestly,
I still peruse it from time to time,
just makes you sad.
Like,
yeah, I also look every now and again, but I try not to. I still use Messenger all the time, but I don't use actual Facebook.
Messenger's just too useful, is the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean that's that. Thanks for having me back, you guys. I missed y'all. And by y'all, I mean Noah. And by y'all, I mean actually the audience. I don't care about Noah.
Fair enough, honestly.
Honestly, what a mood.
But yeah, you know what? It was nice having you back, Dan.
Thanks,
Hopefully,
buddy.
we'll have you back in the future.
See you never.
Pretty much. All right.
Bye.
Catch y'all next week.